Hey, Buce Plants, this is Scott Cheatham here. Just wanted to do a quick little video clip here of the order that just came in. I wanted to see if I could recommend something for you guys, because I noticed with the last order, and now I'm noticing it again with this order. When you guys should do your shipping, you send out, it's your standard box here and everything, but you guys use just this recycled, craft paper for packing. And what that does is it creates an area here where the plants can slide and bang against the walls of the box. And when it's being transported and it's bumped around, or if they're dropping the box, which we all know, these shipping companies, they beat stuff up. Even though the outside of the box might not show it, this stuff still gets beat around. But what I'd like to recommend is switching over to these. You guys, I'm sure, are aware of what they are. They're bio peanuts. So they're made out of cornstarch. I have a huge bag, still about half full. When I used to ship saltwater aquatics, I was a small importer here on the East Coast for many years, starting back in the early 2000s. And I use these to pad shipments, even my livestock shipments. What I would do is any gaps, I'd fill in the gaps also with this around the bags. It's bio, it's made out of cornstarch, so, once they get sufficiently wet, they just dissolve and turn into, cornstarch mush. So they're good for the environment. When people just pitch them and throw them out, they just biodegrade and disintegrate. But it's going to hold your plants much better, because it's going to fill in the gaps and not allow them to move around as much. Because if you notice, look at all the damage on these plants where they're getting overly compressed and smashed around during the shipment process, because you can see the cellular damage here on these. See all this damage to these tips and everything where they've been crushed? It's cellular structural damage of the plants. I mean, look at this. I know this did not leave your facility looking like this, and this is how a lot of the cultures arrived the last time. I haven't even opened this yet, so this will be the first time it's been cracked open since it left your facility. But I mean, look at that mess. So, you can see it in these as well. They're kind of pancaked here to the one side. Hopefully there's not too much cellular damage here to the leaf, within the leaf structures of these. But when we go over to some of these other ones, you can see where a lot of the cellular damage has taken place from impact, from these things being squished and mushed around inside the box. More so on this guy here, because it has the delicate, real delicate leaves. But you can see a lot of the cellular damage here. These leaves are probably going to die. They're not, some of them might make it depending on it. I mean, look at the damage there, and that's a lot of damage to the cellular structure. So, and this little guy here, it's kind of questionable. So you can see there's a lot of damage done in the time that it went from California, on the west coast there, over here to Allentown, Bethlehem area of Pennsylvania here on the east coast, right near pretty close to the Jersey borderline between PA and Jersey. So, they've definitely gone through some rough transit, to say the least. The other thing too is with this one, I noticed I don't really see a lot of root structure. So even down in here, I'm not really seeing any roots sticking out. So I'm kind of hoping there's some root structure down inside this foam. But normally, like, you would even see roots coming out of these nodes. So I gotta say, I don't know if this one's going to, this orange juice is going to make it or not. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on it. But like I said, this one's got a bunch of damage because of it being bumped and slid around inside the packaging. So, you know, like I say, this guy here looks like it's pretty decent. There's not a lot of cellular damage. It's got some nice, you know, some roots coming off some of the nodes. So this one looks pretty healthy. But the orange juice, Rotala orange juice, it's that one, well, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on it. Like I said, this one I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed as well, showing some pretty bad damage there. This one should be fine. You know, I can always snip off the dying portions of the tips there. But otherwise, that one looks pretty decent. But most likely what happened was the weight and mass of this rock wool root ball probably banged against these guys here, which are much more delicate, and is what caused a lot of the cellular damage on those. And then these, like I said, you know, when these boxes get tossed and dropped and stuff, I mean, they just get beat to you know, hell to high water, because they're getting slammed against the inside of your tissue culture containers. So again, I would recommend, I mean, this is my personal recommendation. I've done, you know, shipping in the past of livestock, sensitive livestock, expensive livestock. You know, saltwater corals and fish, as you know, can get very, very pricey. Yeah, I would recommend trying it. Maybe pick up a bag from Uline or, you know, whatever, you know, is out there as far as a distributor for this type of stuff, for shipping and packaging. Pick up some of it and do a test run, and put a little, you know, put a little printed note or something in with it saying, hey, how did your plants arrive? You know, this is a test run of a new packaging. We want to see, you know, how things are arriving. And also do a couple shipments to people that, you know, have received the standard packaging, right, you know, with your paper stuff, and who, you know, have gotten damage on multiple shipments, and ship them out in order packed with bio pellets, and see if it's any better, see if there's a difference. So you know, hopefully these guys will be good. I can get them in this tank here. Like I say, I'm really looking forward to buying a lot more of your products, to really load this tank up, you know, as I progress through each step here. So here's to looking forward, and hopefully it'll all work out. But just as like I said, you know, I think that if you did that, it's going to, you know, have better outcomes on the shipping. So, all right, guys, thank you. And, you know, like I said, I'll keep my fingers crossed on a couple of these guys here.